Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea, one that kind of pushes back against our whole modern obsession with getting public credit for, well, everything. We're going to explore a text that asks a pretty provocative question. What if the best, most important things we do are the ones that nobody ever sees? Let's get into the virtue of hidden devotion.
I mean, think about it. The last time you did something nice or posted an accomplishment online, that little rush you get from the likes and the comments, it feels good, right? Of course it does. But what if the most valuable things we do are the ones that get zero recognition? That's the paradox we're digging into today, and man, is it a tough one in our hyper-connected world.
So this question leads us right to the heart of a text we're looking at. It sets up this huge contrast between doing things for the crowd and doing them for what it calls an audience of one. It really makes you stop and ask, who are we really trying to impress when we do good things?
And here's where it gets really direct. The text basically says, look, if you do something good just to get applause from other people, then that applause is your reward. That's it. You get your payment right then and there. It's fast, it's easy, but that's the end of the transaction. You've been paid in full.
Okay, so what does this devotion done in secret actually look like? I mean, how do you even do that? Well, the text doesn't just leave us hanging. It gives us 3 really concrete examples to show the difference between performing for an audience and acting from a place of, real sincerity.
First up, giving to the needy. You've got the public performer. This is the person who practically announces their donation with trumpets, making a huge show of it. Think of it like a big, flashy charity gala. But then you have the secret practitioner. Their giving is so private, so under the radar, that it's like their left hand doesn't even know what their right hand is doing. For them, the act itself is the point, not the credit.
Next example is prayer. The public performer is all about being seen, standing on a street corner, using all these fancy, elaborate words. It's kind of like spiritual virtue signaling. But the secret practitioner, they go into a private room, shut the door, and just speak simply and directly. It's about having a real connection, not putting on a show.
And what's cool is the text doesn't just criticize the showy stuff. It actually gives a practical guide. It lays out this 5-step structure for prayer. It's like a blueprint for having a meaningful, focused conversation. You start with adoration, move to submission, ask for what you need, address forgiveness, and end with a plea for guidance. It's all very personal.
In the final example, fasting really drives the point home. The performer makes sure everyone knows they're fasting. They look miserable, they mess up their appearance, all so people will say, wow, look how devout they are. But the sincere practitioner, they do the exact opposite. They wash their face, they look totally normal, so that their devotion is a secret between them and their audience of one.
So, we've seen the what and the how of secret devotion. But why? Why is this so important? The text answers this with this brilliant metaphor about treasure. It's a way of getting us to think about what we truly, deeply value in life. So the text presents you with 2 places to invest your life's energy. Option 1, treasures on earth. This is stuff like money, fame, possessions. The things we can see and touch. They're great, but they're also temporary. They can rust, they can be stolen, they can disappear. Option 2 is treasures in heaven. Now this means things like your character, integrity, kindness, wisdom. The text argues these things are permanent. They can't be destroyed, and no one can ever take them from you.
And here's the line that just hits you. It's not just about what you own. It's about what you pour your time, your focus, and your energy into. The text makes this incredible claim. Whatever you value most, whatever your treasure is, that's what will capture your heart. It doesn't just reflect who you are. It actively shapes who you become.
And the text doesn't mess around here. It says you have to make a choice. It's a fundamental decision. You can't have it both ways. You're either chasing material things, which the text calls money, or you're dedicated to this higher, unseen principle. Your loyalty, it says, cannot be divided.
So what's the big payoff for choosing this unseen treasure? Well, in our world of nonstop stress and worry, the answer this text gives is, wow, incredibly relevant. It says the reward is a life free from anxiety. This whole philosophy is presented as a kind of antidote to anxiety.
To make its case, the text just tells us to look outside. Think about the birds. They don't have jobs or savings accounts, but they find food. Or look at the wildflowers in a field. They're unbelievably beautiful, yet they don't work to make themselves that way. The argument is pretty simple. If nature is taken care of, why do we, who are considered so much more valuable, live in a state of constant worry about our basic needs?
And all of this thinking, all these observations about nature, it all boils down to one single, devastatingly simple question. I mean, just think about that. Can all your worrying, all that stress, add even one single hour to your life? The answer, of course, is a huge no. In fact, it does the opposite. Worry doesn't add anything. It's a thief. It just steals your energy, your joy, and your peace of mind, and gives you absolutely nothing back.
So we've got the practice, which is secret devotion. We've got the result, freedom from worry. So what's the final piece of the puzzle? Well, the text gives us one ultimate instruction, a kind of core principle for reorienting your entire life.
This right here is the text's central challenge. It's telling us to completely flip our priorities. Instead of spending all our energy chasing after money, status, and stuff, we're told to seek first the things that have lasting value, things like virtue, character, purpose. And the promise is pretty incredible. If you get your main priority right, all the other stuff, the food, the clothes, the daily needs, will fall into place.
So, to wrap it all up, the central message is this. If we shift our focus from outward performance to inward sincerity, if we focus on a life of unseen virtue, we can totally reorder our priorities and find real freedom from that constant nagging anxiety about the material world.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. In a world that is literally built on likes, shares, and public validation, what does secret virtue even look like today? And maybe more importantly, what would it feel like to do something good this week, something truly kind or generous, and have absolutely no one know about it but you?